everybody, welcome to another What's on the Shelf, and we're now on part 30. So on this shelf we have Harry Potter, the Big Book of Monsters, Railways of the World, the card game, For Sale, Chameleon, and Res Publica. So Harry Potter, the Big Book of Monsters is actually an expansion that plays with Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. And I have not played it yet, mainly because every time we pull out the Harry Potter, there's new players or people that hadn't really played it before. So we're going through the earlier scenarios before we bring this one out, and it just happened that there was always somebody new. What I understand with this one, it brings in new cards that you'll be adding to the deck, so new monsters, that sort of stuff. But then it also brings Luna as a playable character that you could play. I really enjoyed the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle series. It's a cooperative deck building game where you're battling the bad guys of Harry Potter. I know the first time I played it, I was like, whoa, this is good. So really enjoy this one. So I'm excited to eventually try this expansion. Then the next game I have is Railways of the World, the card game. I've never played the original Railways of the World. I don't believe I have. But the card game version is really neat. I've played it with my spouse, and it's a pick up and deliver game. So you collect these cards and you're building your rails, and you'll have, I guess, station where there'll be so many different colored cubes that have to travel through your rails to kind of get delivered at other spots, and you'll be scoring based on that. And you have these little tiny trains that you're putting up to kind of when you're building your rails, and the stations that you have shows how long away or how far away they got to be, so how many rails you have to add. And it was really neat, and I only played it that one time, and it's one that I do want to try to get to the table again, because I really enjoyed it when we did play it. So next one on the shelf is For Sale, and For Sale is a really neat auction game, and it plays in 2 rounds. So everybody starts with the same amount of money, and there'll be 4, well, depending on the number of players, so if you're 4 people playing, then there'll be 4 houses that comes up that you'll be bidding on. And these properties are going to be arranging in number value, and they start at 1, which is a cardboard box in a back alley, and they go all the way to 30, which is a space station somewhere. So you'll have different values, different houses, depending on what comes up. There's an igloo somewhere in there, there's a lighthouse, there's a castle, there's all sorts of different properties that you'll be bidding on. And so the first part is you're using, and you kind of keep your money hidden, and you'll kind of decide on whether you're bidding on the house or not. So you could be like, okay, well, yeah, I'll put 1,000, because they're in increments of 1,000, and people to kind of stay in has to go a little bit above that. So maybe somebody plays 2,000 and so on. And let's say your turn comes along again and be like, I'm going to pass. So first person to pass will take their money back, but then they take the lowest valued house, and it goes to the next person. And until, second last person has to leaves half the money. Oh no, it's everybody. So if you pass, you leave half the money you bid on the table, but you take the lowest house. And the winner of the bid that gets the top house, they don't get any of their money back. That all goes away instead. And you do that collecting all the houses that you have in this deck from 1 to 30. Sometime depending on how many players, some of them are pulled out. And then if you ever run out of money, well, now you have no option. You have to pass every time and take the lowest value house every time. So you end up with a collection of properties. Then you go into the second round, and let me show you some pictures on this. So then you go into the second round, and in the second round, you play with your cards, the properties you've purchased. Now, if you have any money left, that's good. That's going to give you extra points at the end of the game. And now what's happening is you have buyers that are revealed, and it shows what buyers are willing to pay. So it'll go anywhere from nothing, they're going to pay you absolutely nothing, to 15,000. and you don't know what's going to be. So you flip over. So if, let's say, it's like 8,000, 10,000, 11,000, and 13,000. So those are all pretty good price, and you have the cardboard box. Well, then you select which property you're going to put down. So maybe I put the cardboard box because that's the lowest value. It's not going to win, but if I can get, you know, 8,000 for a cardboard box, that's a pretty good deal. So, and then you flip it over, and then whoever has the highest valued house gets the highest buyer, and then the lowest valued will get the lowest buyer, and so on. And you do that until you've sold all of your properties. And then you collect all your money from your buyers and the money that you had left over, and whoever has the most money is the winner. Neat game. The two-part is so interesting, and I've played this one quite a few times. It's just a quick, fun, crowd pleaser game. The next one I have is called the Chameleon. So in the Chameleon, you have a card that's handed around, and I haven't taken a picture of this particular game because it was kind of more like real time. So, and anyway, so you have these cards that are handed around, and on the card it shows you roll 2 dice, and there's 2, like a yellow dice and a blue dice, and based on where those 2 numbers that you rolled connect, it tells you like D3 or so. And then you have the cards that are put on different categories, and it'll show, okay, well, D3, that's the word you're trying to guess. And you kind of go around asking questions or answering questions to what the word is on there. Now, there can be some similar words, so it might be kind of like, okay, well, you want to be a little specific so people kind of be like, okay, she does know what this one is. But not so specific that it gives it away, because one of the person, the card that has that grid to help you determine which one person gets a blank one that says you're the chameleon. So they have to fake what they think the word might be and pay attention. So it's like, okay, well, so they'll answer the question, and if it sounds a little off, it's like, okay, is that person the chameleon? And you're trying to guess, but you're trying to get, and you're going around giving your answers, and you still don't want to be too obvious with your answers, because they can guess what the word is, and if they guess the word correctly, then they win instead of you, and then the group is trying to find who the chameleon is. It's an interesting deduction kind of hidden role game. I definitely have to play this one again. I haven't played it very many times, so, but it was neat. And the next game I have on here is a Rhinoceros game, and it's called Res Publica. And I've actually never played this one, mainly because it's a 3-player game, and every time we'd pull it out to play, it was just me and my spouse. So it's one that I definitely want to play. I like the Rhinoceros games. I find he's clever in how he puts the games together. Oh, look, I put insert picture still because I had put a picture of the game and I never did it. It's a card game where you're collecting villagers and that sort of stuff, and I've never really looked into it. Oh, do I ever do the video? Just leave it like that. You know what? I'm just going to leave it like that and see how many people makes it all the way down here and notices. Anyways, if you guys have played this game, let me know what you think of it. It sounded neat from the videos that I watched, and I've read the rule book, and it sounded like a neat, clever game. Just one that I gotta play. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page is Disbury in Area is playing all the game. I am also on Instagram as boardgame_mama, and my YouTube channel is Board Game Mama. So stay tuned for the next What's on the Shelf.